because I accidentally didn't add extra to take a carry-on, and I'm flying Allegiant. So me and my son are book bag only people for a whole week, which is fine. I've done Europe before. Like, I can do Florida for a week. We'll get into that. But I'm only taking my Kindle, no physical books. So I downloaded some stuff from Kindle Unlimited, and there's some stuff that's been waiting in my Kindle for me, just like begging me to read it. And that's, some of those are in my lineup, and then I do have some physical books here as well. Yes, tasty. It is my iced coffee with coconut creamer. Now we'll pop some gum in, and I already finished 2 books in June. One of them being Dear Debbie. Dear Debbie I read on the Kindle, and I would not say it was one of my favorite Frida McFadden books, but it was a good time nonetheless. And Dear Debbie is about a woman who, she's just living her life. She's a housewife most of the time, but she also has like a part-time columnist job where people write in, Dear Debbie, my husband is not liking my cooking, what should I do? Or, Dear Debbie, my kids are brats, what should I do? That kind of thing. Things start going wrong for Debbie, like, all at once. She gets in trouble at work, her husband gets in trouble at work, her kids are acting up, her daughter's boyfriend is he's vile, and she starts to spiral, she starts to lose it, and so, you get it, like, I feel you, Deb, but she takes it to a whole nother level, and I gave that, I think, 3 stars. It was a solid 3 stars, maybe 3.25 or something like that. And then what else did I finish? I am in the middle of, I think I only finished 1, yeah, but I'm in the middle of Assassin's Apprentice. I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing me talk about this, but it is really good. I'm a little over halfway through now, and it's about a boy who is the bastard son of a prince in waiting by Robin Hobb. Sorry, it's a part of a trilogy. He does have some kind of special powers that I don't understand fully yet. He kind of can become one with animals and like see life through their eyes and stuff. And then he's also being taught these assassin skills. I'll talk more about it when I finish it. I know you guys are sick of me beating this one to death. And then I'm 25% into The Lamb. The Lamb I did purchase. I don't know when, it was on sale on Kindle one day for probably like $1.99 or something. The Lamb is a dark gothic horror about women, hunger, and the bodies they consume. It must be. It doesn't finish that word. It's got a 4.1 rating on here, and then a 3.8 on Goodreads. The Lamb by Lucy Rose. It's from 2025, so it's still relatively new. It's the Dakota Johnson Tea Time book pick. You do not want to have tea with this book. This book is out there. Okay. A dark, gorgeous concoction. Margot and Mama have lived by the forest ever since Margot can remember. When Margot is not at school, they spend quiet days together in their cottage waiting for strangers to knock on their door. The strays, right? Mama calls them people who have strayed too far from the road. Mama loves the strays. She feeds them wine, keeps them warm, then she satisfies her burning appetite for picking apart their bodies. Yes. But Mama's want is stronger than her hunger sometimes, and when a beautiful white-toothed stray named Eden turns up in the heart of a snowstorm, Margot must confront the shifting dynamics of her family, untangle her own desires, and make her bid for freedom. With this gothic coming-of-age tale, debut novelist Lucy Rose explores how women swallow their anger, desire, and animal instincts, and wrings the relationship between mother and daughter until blood drips from it. So, I'm gonna be honest with you, I almost DNF'd this book because it was just making my stomach turn, right? That was probably at, I don't know, 10%, but I did push through, and now I'm fully invested, and I'm just getting over it. Gore usually doesn't bother me, it did give me the ick. But as I said, now this new lady has shown up, and the dynamic is changing in their house, and you start to really feel for this little girl because she doesn't know any better. Her mom teaches her how to be, and is basically abusing her. So you start to think, oh, is she going to get out of this? We'll see. Now, I did finish Interview with a Vampire, the series, 2 seasons on Netflix. And so, my contenders for this month, okay, I don't know what to do because I really want to start the Vampire Chronicles, but I feel like the Mummy would be better for summertime because it's like Egyptomania, right? So I did pick up Anne Rice's The Mummy at a used bookstore. I would have to read this physically. Believe it or not, I have never read an Anne Rice. Ramses the Great lives reawakened in opulent Edwardian London. He becomes Dr. Ramsay, expert in Egyptology, and member of a group of jaded aristocrats with strange appetites to appease. But searing memories of his last reawakening at the behest of Cleopatra burn in his immortal soul, for he has drunk the elixir of life. It is now Ramses the Damned. Ramses. Doomed forever to wander the earth, desperate to quell hungers that can never be satisfied, and his most intense longing of all, a great love undiminished by the centuries, will force him to commit an act of unspeakable horror. Plus, I just finished the book Cleopatra, and the series Rome, so this might tie in really nice with that. Kind of cap that off. But I also just finished Interview with the Vampire. Now this, I do have the trilogy, the first 3, like the core books of the Vampire Chronicles I have in my Kindle. I got it for $10. To my Kindle, it was on sale from like $40 to $10. Highly recommend Interview with the Vampire series. It is amazing. I think it's AMC, but you can watch it on Netflix. And then there's the next book, The Vampire Lestat. That series is coming out this month, so I have to figure out how to watch it, because I don't think it goes straight to Netflix. I think it has to, like, the whole series has to come out and then it will come to Netflix. So Interview with the Vampire Chronicles, book number 1. I don't think there is there's not a synopsis for this one, but it's essentially what the movie and the series was based on. A guy that is interviewing a vampire. He's interviewed him over the years, because this guy, well, in the series, he's like 75 years old or 70 years old, and he's had a couple other encounters to interview the vampire that he knows, Louis. And Louis is telling all, right? He doesn't give it anymore because he's been betrayed so many times, so he is telling all, and you get to like go back and forth through this interview, like, and visualize what happened in the past. So we'll see which one of those I pick up. If You Lie by Caleb Stevens. And years after surviving a horrifying abduction, a woman agrees to go on a luxury cruise with her estranged sister, but as secrets surfaced and danger closes in, she realizes she's trapped at sea, and this time she might not escape. Like, doesn't that just sound like summer thriller fun? Get ready for one of the most intense suspense novels you'll read this year. This is a 2025, so it's still relatively new. A buried past, a new age cult, a floating prison with no way off. 7 years ago, Olivia woke up in the trunk of a stranger's car and barely escaped with her life. She's been looking over her shoulder ever since. Now Olivia is a true crime podcaster on a mission to help other women avoid her fate, but years spent covering violence and crime have left her burnt out, so when Olivia's estranged sister Quinn invites This one is by Tim Chihuahua. I hope I'm saying that right. Tim Chihuahua. It's a sci-fi mystery debut in which a diver searching for nostalgic salvage discovers the body of the most infamous man in flooded Florida and must avoid suspicion from both the feds and the corporate mafias. Reminiscent of Kim Stanley's Robinson, New York 2140 and inspired by John D. McDonald's Travis McKee series Tris, Mackie is flying just under the radar, exploiting the government loophole that lets her live quietly aboard the fleeting Ghost, her rented sentient cabana boat. In exchange, she dyes her recycling recovered from flooded area of formerly coastal cities known as the York Shore. If she happens to find Salvagia, which is nostalgic salvage, valued artifacts from the past, well, that's just between her and the highest bidder. So she finds these things, she puts them up for a bid. But when the federal government begins withdrawing from Florida entirely, Tris must buy the Ghost outright or lose her loophole. Meanwhile, the corporate mafias are poised to seize power, especially morning in Miami, led by the legendary Edgar Ortiz, owner of Astro America Luxury Hotel. Tris needs a score big enough to keep her free from both the feds and the corporations before the Ghost is sent to a watery insurance scamming grave. In pursuit of such a score, she stumbles upon the chained-up, drowned corpse of Ortiz and winds up with more than she bargained for, including a partnership with Ortiz's hotshot space racing son, Riley. If she can help Riley solve the mystery of his father's death, it may lead them to a valuable piece of Salvagia, and with it, the hope of sustainable freeway of Florida living. Perfect book for me to read in Florida, right? Had to give it a shot. Well, it's a debut, so we'll see. It's sci-fi, which I usually don't go for sci-fi, but this just piqued my interest. So Tim Chihuahua, Salvagia. And then we've got, I have to read this in the summertime. I don't know if I'll get to this because it's a physical copy. But Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler. I've been saving this for summer because it's supposed to take place in a really hot climate. When global climate change and economic crises lead to social chaos in the early 2020s, California becomes full of dangers from pervasive water shortages to masses of vagabonds who will do anything to live to see another day. 15-year-old Lauren Alamina lives inside a gated community with her preacher father, family, and neighbors sheltered from the surrounding anarchy. In a society where any vulnerability is a risk, she suffers from hyper-empathy, a debilitating sensitivity to others' emotions. Precocious and clear-eyed, Lauren must make her voice heard in order to protect her loved ones from the imminent disasters her small community stubbornly ignores. But what begins as a fight for survival soon leads to something much more, the birth of a new faith and a startling vision of human destiny. I have to read this. It parallels, with what's going on, per what I've heard. And then there's another Parable of the Talents. Comes after this. I don't know that I'll go to Parable of the Talents because it is it's more sci-fi than this. So we'll see. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. That is it. I also got, there's a potential, and it is called American Rapture. American Rapture is by C.J. Lead. 4.3 on here, and then 3.9 on Goodreads. It is available through Kindle Unlimited. Instant USA Today bestseller. Author of Mayfly, a scorching and sweeping new novel about the end of the world as we know it. A blistering, feverish ride through a uniquely American apocalypse. Okay, a virus is spreading across